Yo, good afternoon. How you doing? This is your coach friends, and I promise you that by the end of this video, you're going to have one of the primary keys to you being able to be successful in life. Matter of fact, you're going to have a couple of keys if you really listen and sift through some of the things that I'm about to talk about. Now, if you saw my Instagram post earlier today for Coach Renz on Instagram, then what you saw me talk about is the fact that Napoleon Hill, in every one of his books, he talked about the fact that you have to have a health and fitness regime, that you have to work towards you having better health and better nutrition. Now, he went very deep in this in certain books while he was shallow in other books, but understand you have to have a better health and fitness routine if success is for you to have. Now, I know that you may be saying to yourself that I'm already successful. I've already achieved certain amounts of financial success. I've already achieved certain types of spiritual success. I've achieved certain types of relationship success. But here's the thing about it. You're comparing your success to the success of other people, wherein you can only compare yourself to yourself. Right? Your success is only measured by how much success you could have had. Not how much you achieved, but how much you could have achieved if you were in true competition, which the only competition is against yourself. There's no other competition except you against the person you see in the mirror every day. So if you do not have a good health and fitness routine in your life, if you're not focused on what type of foods and how much water you put into your system, then guess what? You're not achieving as much as you could because you don't have the energy and you don't have the clarity of focus to be able to achieve more than what you've been achieving. And that's the true measure of success. It doesn't matter if you're more financially successful than I am. It doesn't matter if you're in better health than I am. It doesn't matter if you have better relationships than I do. The only thing that matters is, could you have a better financial portfolio? Could you have better relationships? Could you be in better health? Could you be in better relationships? That's the only thing that actually matters, is you competing against you. Now, in doing so, as a personal trainer, when I owned a company called UC Fitness as a personal trainer, one of the things that I would tell each and every last one of the hundreds of people that I successfully got into the goal of, that I got them to the goal of the health that they wanted to be in, was the fact that I expressed to them upon meeting them that if we can change your body, we can change your life. That everything we do here to change your fitness, we can use to change your life. The mindset changes that must occur in order for you to get into a healthier lifestyle is the exact same mindset that you have to have in order to do what? Have better finances, have better relationships, have better perspectives on the world. These are the things that I taught my clients in personal training, which is the thing that evolved me over into life coaching and then business coaching, is the fact that I use those same techniques to change people's lives and their relationships, to change their lives and how they relate to themselves, to change their financial lives and how they relate to their money. Everything is about relationships and how you relate. So by changing your fitness, by changing the way you see food, by changing the way you see exercise, by changing yourself from having what I affectionately like to call the grasshopper mind, and I'll come back to that later, then we can effectively change every aspect of your life. So, by having a great fitness routine, it's like one of the beginning stages, because it only involves you. It's all up to you. And if you can change that, then you can begin to change other aspects of your life. Now, here's the thing. Most people are walking around with grasshopper mind. Grasshopper mind is, in effect, when you go to the gym, or you have that friend, or maybe it's you yourself, and you go from one diet fad to the next diet fad to the next diet fad. You go from the Atkins diet to the Sunf Beach diet to this product and that product to the HGH diet. You go from product to product, from fad to fad, and you keep changing, never giving any one thing enough of your focus and time in order to go through the whole process until it becomes part of your lifestyle to make sure it works. Now, one of the problems is that we're chasing fads. You go from one network marketing company to the next network marketing company to the next one to the next one to the next one. Or you go from one business to the next business to the next business to the next business. You go from one job to the next job to the next job to the next job. Or you go from one relationship to the next relationship to the the next relationship to the next relationship, never giving time to see, is this really for you? Can you be successful at it? Now I know, and let's go ahead and put the disclaimer out there right now, that there are certain times that you get involved in things and you quickly realize that it's not for you. It is not for you. Well, that is when we understand what Shakespeare wrote, to thine own self be true. This is why when I begin with a client, I make sure that they take this personality and coaching program profile that I issue to them. It's a 25-minute test to make sure that we can figure out who that person really is. Because if you don't know who you are, then your grasshopper mind will be even more destructive in your life than you realize. You see, because here's the deal. Here's the deal. When you don't know who you are, what you see of yourself are many different talents. What you see of yourself are many different things that you like or dislike. What you see in yourself are many different ways that you'll be okay here and you'll be okay there. You'll accept this and you'll accept that. You see all these different facets of yourself, never zeroing in or never having a target of who you are, never mastering you. You see, when you begin to master yourself and by recognizing who you are and what your strengths are, where your creatives are, where your primaries are, what are the things that you must have in life and what are the things you must not have in life. When you start zeroing in on the true you, the deep down, deep diving you, when you have that, that's when you begin to recognize what's good for you and what's not. Then you can say, this is not a good relationship for me. Then you can say, this is not a good career path for me. Then you can say, this is not a good job for me. Then you can say, this is not a good dietary program for me. Then you can say, these relationships are not good for me. And you move from them. But in that movement, you're only moving towards what is good for you. And when you move towards that thing, when you discover what it is that's good for you, when you discover the business that you are good at, that you're passionate about, that you can wake up every morning springboarding out of your bed for, when you discover that, then you have to be able to not have the grasshopper mind and stay focused. You're gonna go through some ups, you're gonna go through some downs, you're gonna go sideways, you're gonna go at a diagonal trajectory, you're gonna do all kinds of things in it. But when you know who you are and you stay focused on it, you give it time, you give it the patience that it needs. But when you have grasshopper mind and you don't know yourself, you just hop and hop and hop and hop and hop. It's kind of like relationships. When you know who you are, then you can determine the right type of people who have a harmonious mind, who have a harmonious heart. That person is the person that you can work with, that you can be with, that things come natural for you and that person to be together. But when you're working with somebody, when your relationship with somebody is disharmonious, when your mind is without harmony, when your hearts don't match with one another, when the way you perceive the world don't match with one another, well, this person may not be the type of friend that you need. They may not be the type of mentor that you need. They may not be the type of husband or wife that you need, which is one of the reasons why we find divorce so high in this world, is because people are jumping into relationships and not knowing who they are. And by not knowing who they are, they get into relationship with people that don't harmonize with them. And so they have the grasshopper mind of relationships. Because not all marriages are made in heaven. Many marriages are made in the mind of a man, the mind of a woman. They're made in the hearts, the initial infatuation that you initially feel for someone, and you carry that into a marriage. The same thing happens in business. You have this initial flirtation with a business. You start making a little money with that business, and then you think, this is my business, this is it. This is my opportunity. This is what I'm passionate about. This is my chance to finally reach those financial glories that I've been looking for. But in truth, you had a little initial success, and then you turn that into what you believe you are or what you believe is good for you. It's kind of like when you get that diet program and you have that initial success, you lose that first 5 or 10 pounds, and you think, this works for me. But as a former personal trainer, I can tell you this, I've had many clients who come to me because they did this program. They lost 30 pounds. It was amazing. It was great. It was wonderful. But guess what? They slowly gained back 40 pounds. They lost 10 pounds. they slowly gain back 20 pounds. And then they come to me and they say, well, I did this diet and it worked for me. And my first response is, if it worked for you, then you would not have gained the weight back. You see, if something works for you, then it always worked for you. If something works for you, then you can say, I backslid a little bit from the program. Let me go back and do it. If something works for you, you can say, I backslid from the program, but let me go back and do it and keep doing it. And if it worked for you, you can keep doing it and keep doing it, and it becomes your life. You see, if the Atkins diet worked for you, you can eat that way your entire life. If doing the cardio all the time and no weightlifting worked for you, then you can do that your entire life and consistently get results and improve. But if it's not consistently getting results and improving, then it is not something that works for you. You see, if you're in a relationship and you're consistently having heartache, consistently having struggle, consistently getting distance between the two of you, then it's not working for you. And if yes, you can try to implement those things that you initially had in your infatuation moments, but if you can't maintain those things, if those things can't be maintained and then growth comes out of that, then guess what? It's not for you. It's not working for you. So then you have to recognize who you are. And in recognizing who you are, get a definite focus on what it is that's good for you. See, the biggest sin in the world is consistently doing the things that bring harm to you. Consistently doing the things that bring discord to yourself. To consistently do the things that disharmonize you, that consistently leaves you in a state of negativity. That's the biggest sin, because that state of negativity will personify itself in every other aspect of your life. You see, if you're constantly doing things to keep yourself poor, you're constantly spending more money than you make, if you're constantly not getting more education, not getting increasing your skills to get promoted in the field that you're in, then that poverty, that sense of poverty, because it is poverty when you're not gaining money, when you're not gaining finances, when you're always behind, no matter if you make 6 figures or you make 5 figures, if you're constantly behind, then you, sir or ma'am, are in poverty. And as long as you allow that negativity of that poverty, that stress of that poverty, all those financial emergencies that consistently blow you away, if you constantly allow yourself to be in that situation, then your relationship life begins to suffer. Your relationship life with your spouse suffers. Your girlfriend, boyfriend suffers. Your children suffers. Those relationships that you also have with other coworkers and friends, they all begin to suffer. Every aspect of life began to suffer, primarily because you, sir or ma'am, have allowed this one aspect of negativity to bring a cloud over your life, to bring judgment over your life, to shut your life down, to make it lower than it really should be. See, and it works in every aspect. If it's your health, if it's your relationship, if whatever that one thing is that's bringing the discord, that's bringing that's taking away your harmony, whatever that thing is, it is destroying your life. You have to start making that as change. Make that a priority, to know who you are in that realm and make the changes. You see, you can fix your financial life, and then when you fix that, you can begin to work on the relationship life. You can fix your relationship life. You can fix your health life. You can fix all these aspects of your life when you know who you are. Find that definite focal point and focus on that one thing, that goal, that aspect of who you are that's going to make you successful in that realm of your life, and continue to grow and develop. As long as you keep doing that, then you will begin to be successful in every aspect of your life. This is why I say that we work with the 360 degrees of a person, the full completeness of a person. I had to get out of the personal training because I can't just work with the health of the person and just the relationships that are damaging to the health of the person. I must work with the full person, every aspect of the person, their finances, their goals in life, their dreams in life, their health, work with their relationships, work with how they see themselves. Every aspect of the person must be developed, must be determined what it is about you to thine own self be true, so that we can then build you into the person that you should be, or as they like to say, the greatest version of yourself. That is the goal at all times. And until you begin to do that, then you will consistently have this grasshopper mind. You will consistently hop from one diet to the next diet, from one fitness program to the next fitness program, from one job to the next job, from one relationship to the next relationship, from one business to the next business. And you will find yourself at old age, having done nothing, having spent the majority of your life sad, broken, wondering, if I knew now, if I knew back then what I know now, my life would have been so much better. If I knew back then what I know now, I would have done things so differently. Well, here's your chance to do things differently now. Here's your chance to say that I can't go back in time, but guess what? I've learned these lessons, and from these failures, which are just temporary losses, I can now make my life better. I can now get in better health in a way that's going to be consistent and lasting in my life. I can now get in better financial health in a way that will be consistent and lasting in my life. I can now get in better relationships. I can get in better every aspect of my life so that it can last for the rest of my life. And that is the goal. That is the purpose of life. That is the understanding of what it is to be able to make sure that your greatness is non-negotiable, and it allows you to free yourself so that you can consistently be yourself. Because as Shakespeare said, to thine own self be true. Because until you are true to yourself, then you are no earthly good to anyone else. So to thine own self be true. Allow yourself to be free of all the contradictions of man, to be free of all the harsh criticisms of man, to allow yourself to be free to be exactly who you are. And if others don't like it, that is not your problem. That is a problem for them. But when you are free to be who you are, you will attract the right people in your life. You will attract the right circumstances in your life. You will attract the right business in your life. You'll attract the right financial opportunities in your life. You'll then be able to attract the right spouse into your life when you are truly being free to be yourself. Because remember, at all times, your greatness, my friend, is non-negotiable. And this is your Coach Renz. And I look forward to being able to work with all of you guys. If you love this channel, please support us on our Patreon account. And also, if you would like to work with me personally, then join me for our 90-day I Am program at the Coach Renz website or on our Facebook page for Coach Renz. And I just started the Instagram page for Coach Renz. So I look forward to it. You guys have a great day. Enjoy yourself. And remember, free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable.